Hey Matthew, hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream. How are you doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, great, awesome. We had a great intro. We're ready to go for a couple of questions with the community today. So we will maybe just wait a couple seconds if the first person's in the chat in the live, if they can just tell us if the sound is going okay. But normally everything should be okay on both sides. But if there's anything, feel free to just let us know in the chat, so we don't have to come back 5 or 10 minutes in time. But I guess everything is going to be okay. Everything sounds good. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Kurdajar. So first of all, Matthew, we have here Matthew Fontana, Head of Ecosystem with us at Streamr. Thank you very much for taking a little bit of time with us to be able to answer a couple of questions from the community. It's been very fun to be able to talk with the team, making sure that we can also answer all the questions. So maybe let's start directly with the first question of the community. So here is the first one. So what is the forecast for finding new customers for people who might want to use the Streamer service in the future?
Okay. In terms of referring to people as customers, this is kind of like a Web 2 terminology. So I'd like to probably refactor that question a little bit and kind of frame it in a way that what we're really after is getting the tech adopted by developers and the industry at large, essentially. So what we want is, well, the larger goal of Streamer is to mobilize and trade all the world's data in the world, all the world's live flowing data. And so in terms of reaching for a customer or two, it's not really how we think about solving this problem. So I guess, like, in terms of getting those users and getting the adoption, it's a classic playbook of building awareness, incentivizing those first use cases with grants, running these hackathons, but it's also about seeding folks' imagination. I think that's like quite a key piece. This science communication of the streamer technology, because it is the more I pitch Streamer Network to many different people, and usually there's a bit of a technical barrier in understanding what we do. So I think that there is like a lot to benefit from just making the tech more easier to understand and easier to onboard new developers. So if we do get this grassroots developer movement building on Streamer, that is going to really drive the adoption of the network. So yeah, in terms of customers, I suppose you can think of a customer as, the Web 2 analogy compared to Web 3 is that perhaps in the Web 2, you're putting your credit card details in and you're buying a messaging infrastructure or getting data from A to B. In the Web 3 world, you might be putting data tokens into a bounty contract and letting the people's community kind of summon as these data broker networks that will kind of replace these data centers, essentially. So in terms of bringing in those customers, you kind of have to go back to square one, where it's building the awareness, creating these new use cases, seeding imagination, and kind of speccing the future so that these entrepreneurs, especially, can come in and see very clearly and quickly what we have to offer them, and make the connections with their business, with their needs, and start building on Streamer.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you were also very active in events, so I guess there the people can understand much easier what is actually Streamer about, and I guess those kind of people don't ask indeed the questions about customers or those kind of things, but it is very technical and very difficult for people to understand, I think, on the long run exactly how it works, but it's just also a matter of time with the milestones getting better and better, and we're moving forward. I think it's going to be easier later on to be able to also understand how Streamer really works.
Yeah, exactly.
So question 2, we have here, when a use case project joins the network, what kind of agreement are we doing with them? What sort of clauses do we consider putting into the agreement to add much more value to the network in the future?
Okay, interesting question. So I I kind of have to push back a little bit about the what kind of agreements are we asking these folks to commit to? I think that's a little bit of Web 2 thinking, and it sort of doesn't match with the values of the project of being totally permissionless. So I would like, I mean, the DAO could vote and kind of put these commitments in front of developers coming in and trying to use the technology. But I really think we need to go in the opposite direction and incentivize more developers to just try the technology. And perhaps I guess the question isn't too clear about what kind of agreements, but perhaps you could imagine, some sort of vendor lock-in. That's just like not us, man, kind of sort of approach here. And I think developers. I'm a developer myself. It's sort of like a red flag if your technology choice is locking you in very early in. So as a developer, as an engineer, you really want to look at the tool set, find the exactly right tool for the job, and reach for it and use it. And if it stops working for you, you pick up a different tool. And I think Henry, our founder and CEO and CTO, he's an engineer by heart as well, and he has this same vision. So I think, yeah, if there are interesting agreements that you would like us to kind of work with new builders and new projects on, perhaps the way to do this would be to submit a community proposal on Snapshot, and the DAO can debate and vote on this. And if there is an agreement or some sort of discussion that should take place early on, and the vote and the DAO agrees on that, then I think that is like a Web3 way of working with these builders.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Exactly. There have been already, I think, to today, 8 proposals on Snapchat, but this is really open for everyone. So if there's great ideas, of course, it doesn't always have to come from the team directly, but also just directly from other people. So make sure to have a look there on the Snapchat indeed. Question 3. As the network is mainly pub/subs, messaging network and nodes are operating with a very high requirement now. Will it be possible to operate these nodes with massive data transfers? Or a lot of bandwidth will maybe be needed in the near future? We don't really know this.
Okay. So yeah, I can give a very unsatisfying answer that I've given many times before, and that it depends. But I can take a step back and maybe explain how your broker node, which maybe is a Raspberry Pi running on limited bandwidth, for example, how that fits into the bigger picture. So currently in the Brubeck network, we are the DAO has voted to inflate the token supply to basically give out rewards to nodes that have good uptime, essentially. But that's not like the vision of Streamr, or like 1.0 of Streamr network. What is 1.0 of Streamr network is the Tatum milestone, where we introduce the quality of service tokenomics powered by the data token, and these token incentive bounty contracts, they very much depend on matching streams with with broker nodes. So in this sense, if your node wants to mine a particular stream, they need to be confident they can service that stream. So it'll be up to the stream operator or stream sponsor, however you want to call it, to kind of basically provide the list of requirements. Now, this could be that there's going to be like a lot of small messages flowing through, and perhaps the CPU requirement is a little higher. Perhaps it's a massive, massive data transfer stream, and bandwidth will be very important. But at all times, uptime is central. So we really don't want nodes to drop off and have the stream operator kind of miss messages through this decentralized network. So redundancy is a part of the network, but if the brokers are coming and going as they please, it won't work. So this is where the economic layer of the network, which we've worked with block science on, really is absolutely critical to the healthy operation of the Streamr network. And
Right.
so, yeah, like these bounty contracts, they probably won't be free to join. Like you'll need to put in a stake a lot of the time. I can't say this for all streams, but I would imagine if I have a stream of value, I depend on this stream. I depend on these messages going through this network. I want brokers to come in with a bit of stake to say that I promise to be a good broker. And if they break that promise, I think there should be a slashing mechanism. But that's just me, and perhaps other stream operators will be will be kinder, or it's going to be totally up to the stream sponsor to decide on how to structure these streams, and it's going to be totally up to the brokers to choose which streams to mine. So there will be most likely like a strategy employed, maybe an automatic strategy, so you can kind of be hands off as the node operator. But yeah, in terms, kind of coming back to the question, will bandwidth matter? Perhaps the higher paying streams, or the streams with the bigger bounties will require more bandwidth, for example, or more CPU than what you have. But perhaps there are other streams that you can easily service. So in this respect, the future is unclear. We're not at that 1.0 yet. But it's really awesome to hear these sorts of questions to kind of prepare us for that moment.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense, to be honest. I think it will be very fun to be able to have like a kind of a health meter where we can really see like, oh, this is a node, uptime is more than 12 months, it doesn't have any downside, it never went out, or those kind of things, to be able to know if a node is really healthy or not. That those kind of things could be very interesting on the long run. I think it's going to be very important, but it makes a lot of sense to be able to have some bounties, I think, on the long run. But this is something where I guess everyone will have something to say on it, of course.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And you bring up a good point that reputation is it's kind of what we're going towards with these staking requirements. So perhaps if your node, you can say, look at my node, it's been up all year, hasn't had an issue at all. That kind of data could be used in the broker contract, for example. This sort of meat space reputation. That's like a very interesting. It's like an open slot. With chatting with the block science people, they've kind of left that open because the ecosystem will kind of arrive at a certain weighting about how much they care about this offline reputation. So if a big company, maybe a Nokia, comes in and says, I'm running nodes, here's my node, then maybe the staking requirement is a bit reduced because, oh my goodness, they have such like strong offline reputation as well. So I think this will be really exciting to watch. And we should also remember that there is a kind of a side of the the tokenomics that is capable of delegating stake to other broker nodes. So if you can see that a node is a great node, then you can stake on behalf of that node and earn a slice of their rewards. So perhaps you're a great node, but you don't have a big stake. You can kind of ask for somebody to sponsor you with a delegate amount, and the system works. So yeah,
that's going to be amazing for the, if I may call them like this, the lazy people who don't want to run a node, but they have data tokens today, and we have other people indeed where they're having maybe a lot of running nodes, but healthy nodes at that moment. It's going to make a lot of sense to be able to have the kind of delegation. People will jump on the good nodes in the beginning, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, there's a little bit of an open question as to, we don't want to give folks too many options about what to do with the data tokens, but I'm kind of on the other side. I think, people appreciate if you're a bit more lazy, you just kind of want to, bet on the winners, but perhaps there are other more technical people that really, want to participate and run a node themselves and have others stake on them. So I think it'll be a fun market to be a part of.
Yeah, indeed. Question 4. What kind of marketing will be done for the ecosystem? So it's more maybe a marketing question than something else, but I think a lot of people would like to know what are the goals maybe in the ecosystem? Are we trying to search for more builders? What is the goal here?
Okay. So I think that the goal has shifted a little bit from time to time at the Streamr project, and in this crypto space, it's like it evolves so rapidly that it really requires a changing marketing strategy as well. So you need to move with the market. And this project started 2017, 2018, and the space was very different back then. Back then, it was all about, how many, tweeting as often as you can, making paper partnerships with every guy on the street, and, kind of really making some noise about yourself. Nobody really understood crypto, or we were in quite a bubble. Maybe we're just in like a series of bubbles, and, the bubble never pops. But, my point is that it's like it's already a very different environment than when it was in 2018. So I guess our strategy has moved a bit. So initially we were focused on the enterprise. Then we kind of realized that they're not ready for crypto. So we pivoted to building more of a grassroots movement, and I think we have been successful in this goal. There's certainly more we can do, but I think that having a grassroots developer movement on top of your technology is always great. And Swash started off as a one guy coming in. It wasn't our Discord; it was maybe our Telegram chat back at the time, and they were just curious about the tech and wanted to hack together something, and now they are like a big deal. And so it's a good strategy to work on the lower end as well. But now I think the enterprise are a little bit more ready for maybe another taste of Streamr. And now that we have reached like a certain milestone in the project where the network is decentralized, back in 2018, it was a lot of conversations ended, okay, well, come back to us when it's ready, sort of a thing. And that's totally fair. And while we haven't got to our 1.0 milestone, we are hosting many production data pipelines. So I think in many respects we are ready for another enterprise push. But then the question comes to focus. Where should we put our resources? Is it in these hackathons with indie developers, or is it with these big enterprises? Both have their pros and cons. And there's also a big fleshy middle in terms of Web3 projects that are growing up quickly. There are SMEs, there are local councils. There's a lot in the middle, and I think actually that could be the sweet spot, because a lot of these entities and projects, they are in a very competitive landscape, and they reach to crypto to differentiate themselves a bit. And so Stream and Network can kind of provide that differentiator for them. And that's what we've seen with it's annoyingly called Matt, the ride sharing app from Latin America. They're competing against Uber in a hyper competitive commodity market of actual physical transport. So they really want like a crypto angle to make them stand out. So I think pushing more in that, marketing more to the middle ground, I think we might find more chance for more product market fits. And I think speaking more generally, our best marketing is making our ecosystem successful. So there's been many times where I've had a lead come in that they've checked out Swash, they love what the Swash has done, and they think they can do Swash for X, right? And they see that Streamer has been hand in glove with Swash this whole journey, and they realize that we can be a supportive partner with our technology to build their use case. And so that's really the best marketing for us, to build great product, build great developer on-ramps, and make sure that we're kind of exporting value. Aside from the regular marketing strategies that are tried and tested, that maybe a bit too boring to speak about here, but email marketing and tweeting and all the rest. But I think those are the headlines of what we want to see more of in the streamer marketing.
Awesome answer. Full answer to the question. Really nice. Awesome. I just wanted to add on top of that, because you talked about Matt, who's going against Uber. So for the people who are interested, we also actually have a video on our YouTube channel where we did an interview with them. So feel free to also have a look. Very interesting. And we also did a video that we just posted today as well on YouTube with Republic, with Keith, who is also building amazing things. So feel free to have a look. Just wanted to add that on top because it's very interesting. Question 5 for you, Matthew. Do we have any updates on the new broker node?
Okay. So we have some minor updates that have just been released this week. So especially if you've had any stability issues with your node, I would recommend getting that minor update. I think it's 31.0.2, but don't quote me. But we have already seen in the Discord that people say that if they've had some dropouts before, that they don't have them now. So that's great. There is a major update coming, I think, within the month or so. So this will be again mainly under the hood changes. If anybody's interested, it's more about how the node collects metrics about itself, and probably some more stability updates. So I might disappoint people by saying it's probably not going to mine data coin faster. So there's probably not a burning need to upgrade, but maybe like a bit of a controversial take maybe an open question to the community is, would we only give rewards to the new broker node version to kind of incentivize being on the latest? Because at the end of the day, for this phase of the project, the token rewards are for us to help us understand our own network and build it better and faster. So there is maybe a small argument for maybe making only the new version get the releases, but that's also a little mean as well. So
Yeah, it is
I,
actually it's a very good point, to be honest, because I think most of the people are also here because there are some rewards, of course, but I think it's important to understand that these rewards are actually really helping the project as well. They're helping the developers to be able to understand better how everything is working, and making sure that we have a better security, and making sure that when everything is ready for the last milestone as well for Tatum, that we can bring something really amazing out as well. So there's of course rewards. That's always fun, always great. But I think it's very important to understand that it's really helping the team as well.
yeah, yeah. Maybe there's a middle ground, and yeah, I'm glad I'm not in charge of these sort of tough decisions. But yeah, I think there's an argument both ways.
I agree. I would love to be able to discuss this now, but we have other small questions about the ecosystem. But we can maybe
Yeah,
keep
sure.
this for a next video with big pleasure.
Yeah.
So we had Henry in the last MAE as well, who said that the biggest competitor in web-based providers, such as are cloud services in Web 2. Someone is asking, why doesn't Streamer do both?
Mm. It's a fair question, and to be totally open about it, I think it's an openly debated question inside the streamer team as to there is this opportunity here to kind of service the Web 2 world, maybe as low hanging fruit. That I guess that part is the devil in the details. How much of a lift it would be to sort of pivot some resources towards some sort of offering to Web 2 kind of customers at the moment. So yeah, I guess I've had a bit of time to kind of ponder this question, and to me, like I don't think I would feel right about kind of looking backwards and kind of now there's credit card access and a customer support, building Web 2 things for what is in its DNA a Web 3 project. So I think it's kind of a market timing question in a sense. Is the market ready for Web 3? If it's 10 years away, then maybe we should be, maybe we should hedge our bets and do some Web 2 things in between. But for me, I would be disappointed if we lost our focus and started to kind of build backwards. So there is a focus risk, and if we lose kind of belief and confidence that this Web3 vision will take hold, then I think we kind of lose the heart of the project. So I think we should keep building in a Web3 way and be optimistic that the market will kind of come to us. I think that will happen. I am personally optimistic. Timing wise, nobody knows, so we kind of have to wait and see. But the way I think about it is, Elon Musk, he's halfway through building the Tesla, he wasn't okay. Let's just build a better diesel car, kind of a thing. Let's
That's
stick
the
a
goal
fossil.
here.
Yeah,
Points.
let's just stick an engine on here, and that'll make us more money. So, the heart of the project is about a next generation messaging network. We are 4 years in of a 5-year roadmap. We're killing it. we should keep focus and keep going.
I wanted to ask you, but I think you already answered the question. But I wanted to ask you if what are your thoughts about the Web3 adoption? If it can come in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, but I guess you answered it with we don't really know, I guess, or maybe something else.
Yeah, we don't really know. If you ask me for a hot take, then yeah, it's I think Oh, within 3 years. I hope anyway. That's probably my own optimism.
Mm,
Um, we certainly see like the first adopters are here. How long it takes for the next wave and the mainstream to come? Yeah, I hope within a few years. Yeah.
mm. Awesome, cool. So we have here a question about. So we talked a lot about the chat app actually a couple of times already now, but someone is asking if you can tell us a little bit more about the chat app. What is this about, and where are we at this moment?
Oh, for sure, for sure. So it's just it's kind of been like a small a light burn internal project at Streamer for some time. We've decided to kind of put a bit more energy into it because the space needs decentralized group wallet chat, and but also it's not to say that we're all going all in on this chat app. So it's a proof of concept. I hope we're building it in the open. I hope the ecosystem, our ecosystem, can learn from this and perhaps adopt it, make forks, or build competing chat apps. I think there's certainly room for many sort of communication style applications that see the streamer network as this generalized messaging infrastructure. So it's not just to monetize data through data unions. It's can also, and perhaps the biggest use case is this communication platform, or maybe not. Platform's a bit of it's a bit of a word with some bad connotations. It's a communication protocol, let's say. So it's being built. We're learning a lot about it, and it's helping us test the network in a very practical way. And I think it's great for a few reasons, because the streamer light node, it can run in the browser, and that's quite unique in
Mm,
crypto space. You're actually participating in the network firsthand when you load the chat app in the browser. And there was a lot of controversy uh, late last year from Moxie, the head of the founder of Signal, and he was saying, this Web3 is actually very centralized on these RPC endpoints, these hosted gateways. You're not really running a node. Nobody really wants to run a node, etc., etc. But the counter argument that we have is that we got this very early on, and we totally agree. But in Streamer, you're running a node without even knowing it.
mm.
So yeah, checkmate, Boxy. Yeah, no, it's uh, yeah, maybe we should be a bit proud of this. We saw this very early on, that decentralization is important, and you really want your users to be nodes in the network. So that's what this is. The network provides the data transport layer. Polygon or Ethereum rather, provides the identity layer for these chat applications, and you can basically chat with your wallet. You have cryptographic mathematical proof that the messages that this wallet is sending you came from that wallet. So and it's all run as a true decentralized application. There's no Amazon, there's no cloud that your messages are going through. So I think it'll be useful to go back to the first question. I think it was about seeding imaginations. So I hope that the chat app seeds some imaginations, and people can understand by seeing what the streamer network can do. Maybe token gated chat rooms. In the chat app, a stream on Streamer is a chat room, and the participants are the publishers and the subscribers. So it's a very natural human to human communication through the Ethereum wallets as the identities. So that's what we are hoping to accomplish, and I hope it really excites developers, and they can kind of see the vision and join us in that respect.
Yeah, and I think very soon we will be able to create maybe some videos to show as well the chat app. It's always fun to be able to see it directly. But you talked about the light nodes, and I think this is something that a lot of people are wondering as well. I'm just jumping here on a question about the light nodes, how it would exactly work, first of all. And also we have some builders like Swash. A lot of people know about them. Will the Swash users run light nodes in the future? Is this something possible or not really?
Yeah, good question. So light nodes. Another way of explaining it is their application nodes. So it's a library that kind of is a part of your application, and as long as your application is can execute JavaScript-based code, then the light node can be a fully fledged first-class citizen in the network. So will Swash run light nodes? I think they will. So we are in testing phase at the moment, and the pattern that looks like it will work out is that as part of the Chrome extension of the Swash app, it will run a light node that is implementing what's called a proxy publish pattern. So it will be publishing data to specific known nodes in the network. So this is like a good stepping stone towards the Tatum style contracts, but the Tatum contracts aren't ready yet. So this is a good middle ground between centralized kind of the Korea network where the traffic was just going through our nodes to a specific list of nodes that they select towards the final Tatum era version where it'll be you guys. So yeah, I think that's the plan at the moment. But we are doing like at the moment we're doing some stress testing with them to make sure that they're confident with the approach.
Awesome, cool. Would you like to share maybe as well your screen with the Streamer network where we can see indeed all the nodes and what's happening now, how many nodes we have? I wanted to ask you on this actually. So we have here, awesome, the Streamer network explorer. So we see that we have 3,539 nodes, running nodes at this moment. There's an APR of APY, sorry, at 116% still at this moment, and a TVL at 24 million data tokens locked in the nodes. For the light nodes, how would it actually be shown? Is it going to be mixed with the nodes? Is this something like a separated number, or how will it work? Do you already know this or not yet?
Oh yeah. So the light nodes will appear on the Network Explorer, but they won't be staking any data, for example. So one example I can give you. So this is the Streamr Network website, and when you visit today the Streamr Network website, if you scroll down, we have a section on the data token. Whoops. Sorry about that. We have a section on the data token, and these are real-time values. They get updated every maybe 5 or 10 seconds.
That's great.
And
Awesome.
yeah, and these values are actually coming from a stream on the Streamr network. And so what that means is that when you visit the Streamr network website, you are actually a light node in the network. So I can prove that by going into the Network Explorer, and I can type in the stream name of that data stream. It's called data-metadata. And this will actually show me the live topology of everybody visiting the Streamr network website right now. So there's probably one for me. I'm in Switzerland, so it's probably me here. And my browser is helping to propagate messages uh, to its peers. Um, and so what this means is that I'm not getting these these number updates from some centralized backend. I'm actually getting it from other people that are on this same website. So
It's really fun to see, to have also those numbers in real time, just changing
yeah,
from the stream
yeah.
directly.
Yeah, so Streamer is a real-time data network. So these messages are being propagated to everybody very fast, usually within a third of a second. And yeah, this is a great use case, I think, for all websites and for all sorts of decentralized applications that I really care about decentralization and want to have some sort of want it to live in the browser. So yeah, that's um, that's something that we're proud of, and this isn't going through some hosted gateway. This is uh, this is a decentralized network. Yeah.
Always fun to see. So this is available for everyone. You can just find this as well on the website. You can have some fun also to just search for some nodes. You should also find maybe yours if you have a running node. So always fun to be able to have a look on it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you can search by the name of your node, or you can search by the stream name, which is what I did here. And this is it starts off because we use the identity of the creator as the first kind of domain part of the stream. That's why there's this big Ethereum address in front, but it can also be an ENS name. And then it continues on with a path name that you choose. So for this one, it's data token, so data dash metadata. So yeah, that's how it works.
Awesome, cool. Thanks very much for sharing this. Always fun to be able to have it visually. So we also had a question about the relationship between Swash and Streamer, but I guess this was almost answered. Would you like maybe to add something?
I think maybe the takeaway is that we are onboarding them onto the Brubeck network. We have a great relationship with Swash. We've been working with them since the very beginning. They used to be called Surf Streamer back in the day, and we're just so proud of them, and they've really led the way in this data union space. So nothing but warm regards and just um, uh, general appreciation for being the first data union and major browser network on the Streamer network. So one of the key or one of the main frustrations as being like this infrastructure provider is that we need to be quite patient to wait for these great use cases or these great teams to come along and activate on these great use cases. So we have this great browser network of tens of thousands of browsers publishing data on the Streamer network. Soon we'll have the demo network, so a network of cars activating. Maybe smart houses are next. There's so many different kinds of networks that we're really excited to activate on the Streamer network, and because it's such a broad technology or unopinionated open infrastructure, it really allows for so many use cases, which is exciting.
Yeah, I think patience is the key here indeed. I think this is really something you need patience. You don't have really a choice, but it's really amazing to be able to see the first data union Swash being able to be this far today. It's just great. So we have here do you have any projects on your list that you're looking into at this moment that could use Streamer?
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I think maybe I spoke about this already, but Demo is one that's it's already they're already working with us, but yeah, I constantly are watching the project grow so rapidly. So that's maybe one of the most important ones that I think will activate next. I think they're just doing such amazing things, such a strong team that they're building this operating system for all moving vehicles, and they're leveraging streamer technology to make this happen. So I think there's so much data that comes from these roaming vehicles that is so relevant to so many different parties for so many different reasons. So it's this was like the number one use case. Like if there was a cookbook of use cases for the streamer network, a roaming car network sharing and monetizing the car data is number one. So yeah, I spoke about having patience. We have waited like 5 years for a team like Demo to come along to see the vision like we do, and we're just so excited to be helping them achieve their dreams. And just like Swash, they're going to be a massive force in the data union space, and just generally as this vehicle to vehicle communication and everything in between. So yeah, I can't state that project highly enough. In terms of other projects, maybe more broadly, I can speak to who we're sort of interested in going after for the second half of this year. And for this this ties into the Streamer Hub kind of concept. So we have been thinking a lot about how to activate the open data use case on the Streamer network, because it makes a lot of sense. And to have open data flowing through an open data protocol, open on open, and then owned by the community. So I think that so I spoke a little bit about enterprises maybe not willing to put their most valued data pipelines yet on Streamer, because we're not even at 1.0 yet. But the open data mission that you can share as much data as possible and build an ecosystem of developers on top of this data, and create these public good data streams, I think that's massively relevant and quite low risk for governments, for enterprise, for universities, and a lot of these, even Demo, for example, they'll have a mix of open data and tradable, monetizable data. So I just think that this area of open data is going to be massively relevant for the network. And previously, I think we made a little bit of a communication error in having the marketplace as being front and center, because open data exists on the marketplace, but it's kind of disguised as free products, and really that's bad communication on our behalf. This is open data, and I think if we can teach folks that Streamer Network is this serverless approach that you can share as much data as possible, and it's free to use for these sort of public good use cases, I think that'll be massively valuable to the adoption cycle of Streamer Network. So this is where our head's at the moment. And plenty of projects I think will activate in that space. And maybe just one last point is that a lot of governments, they beat the drum of open data, but when you go to their open data portals, it's just CSVs and XMLs from you'll get some Excel spreadsheet from a year back, but really in 2022 we can do a lot better. and literally, I think it's either none or something that I've never heard of. Uh, Not a single data hub in the European Union has a real time data offering, and that's a clear product market fit for the Streamer network. So yeah, it's up to us to help them see the light there. So I hope that's yeah, that's a good angle for us in the future.
I agree. Yeah, amazing. I think it's also very important, as you told, as you just said, that it's streamer has to do, of course, the job and make sure that we can spread the word. But I think it's very important as well for the as a community as well for the people who are watching us today. I think it's also very important that we can always use some help to get some feedback. People who are also posting some other projects. We have an amazing Discord where you can also share in the channel of Ecosystem directly other projects if you feel that they can have some similar collaborations maybe together or stuff like that. So of course, having more heads and people who are trying to have a long-term vision about Streamer, I think is very important. So we can always get some help from the community a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah. If you have a good lead, share it in the Discord, and Anthony is there. I'm usually there. We do listen, so you are providing a great service if you have a good idea or are able to share a business contact that might be interested in using Streamer. So yeah, we do value our community a lot.
Exactly. There was someone in the chat who asked, because I know a lot of people they're actually seeing Streamer a little bit similar than Helium. I think it's because of the map, to be honest. It's just because of the map. But so the question here is, I have, sorry, here it's already up. Sorry. Where is the question? Yeah. What makes Streamer better than Helium?
Oh, okay. Well, I can't say that we're better. Helium is awesome. So hopefully we're awesome as well. But we're very different projects and very compatible projects. And we do work with Helium quite a bit. And I think there is a lot of opportunity to work with them in the future as well. So Helium, just to give a quick overview of what their project is up to, they're trying to create coverage networks based on LoRaWAN to begin with. So this is about setting up a node that has some, like a base station node that provides connectivity to a large area, so that you can have some sort of IoT device that speaks LoRaWAN. LoRaWAN is a protocol that is very low power but can cover a long distance. So if you have some sort of IoT device, maybe at your cabin, somewhere that is checking for a water leak, for example, it can, with very low power, talk to the base station network, and essentially that's the Helium network. So LoRaWAN has been around for a long time, but it hasn't had good coverage. So what Helium does is they cold start the network with Helium incentive tokens, create this LoRaWAN sort of coverage network around the world, and suddenly your IoT device becomes much more useful. So where this kind of ties into Streamer is that this IoT device perhaps can be pushing its data into Helium, and then from Helium it can go into the Streamer network, and then we can have tens of thousands of subscribers all listening into that Firehose data stream. Perhaps it's 1 million IoT sensors all speaking into this one Firehose data stream. And to get access to that data stream, you need to pay some tokens, for example. So Streamer Network comes in as like the broadcast arm of the Helium network, and also a perfect kind of infrastructure piece to monetize that data as well, as part of a data union, which would be a part of the data union DAO now. But yeah, this is kind of how it fits together. So Helium would provide the raw connectivity, and Streaming Network would be the layer on top that does the data transport over the internet to the subscribers and potentially monetizing that data as well.
Awesome, thanks. I think it's not the first time that you answered this question. I also think it's not going to be the last time, but thank you very much for this.
Oh, my pleasure.
We have here a last question from the community as well. I think there's a lot of different people who have different numbers, of course, on this. You don't have to give a perfect number, of course, but there's a lot of projects who are giving some estimation about how much is data really worth. How much can someone earn, not today, of course, but maybe in the future, per year, just with the data that we are providing today in Web 2, actually?
That's
from your point of view, of course, because there's no real answer today, I think.
Yeah. I have my list of unsatisfying answers that I'll reach towards, and it varies a lot, so it depends. Perhaps a different way to. I mean, this is why it gets asked so often, because there's no real good answer, or no like clear answer that you can repeat. But perhaps if I could make a slightly more satisfying answer, it would be that, and I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but it's probably some sort of function of your net worth and how much you consume and how active you are. So how much data you're creating, and kind of I guess your place in the world, in a sense. So some sort of percentage of that function, I think, is what your data is worth. So
that's a very good point.
Maybe for the average Joe, I would like to think that I think we could work towards probably $100 a month as a total stab in the dark with no data points other than some sort of gut feeling. I think it's tricky to answer for everybody.
I agree 100%. Okay, great. So we answered all the questions from the community in our Discord. So first of all, if you guys who are listening at this moment, I see that we are a lot of people on the live stream. If you're not following on Discord, feel free to also join. There's in the description bio, you can find the Linktree link where you can find all the necessary links. So you have the website, but also all the socials. We have Twitter, but Discord is going to be the place where you will be able to have all the answers. If you need anything, we will be there to be able to help you out as well. But we also have some blogs out there where everything is really explained perfectly. To be honest, if you would like to run a node, you will find all the information there. And I think we're done for this live. I'm just having a look in the chat if we have maybe a very good question from someone. Of course, we're getting a lot of the same questions about listing in exchanges, but this is not the MEA for it. Just having a look very fast, but I think we're quite done. We were able to answer, I think, all the questions related to the ecosystem, at least for the moment. It will be very fun to be able to have you back, Matthew, maybe in the next weeks or maybe in the next months as well, to be able to give like an update what happened since today until the future. And let's talk maybe very soon. But I wanted to thank you very much for taking 1 hour with us here today to answer all the questions. And I wish you a very, very good evening. And I wish as well the whole community who listened today a very good day. And we will talk very soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. And people run a node and get active on the Discord. We love to see it. So thanks to everybody that's tuned in. And we really appreciate our community. And I hope you're doing well.
Awesome. Have a good evening. Thank you very much, Matthew. Bye-bye.